it's a big one. I mean, I love Islam. We all know that. Everyone knows me and Islam are cool, but that would be, I think, 100% the biggest fight to make in the welterweight division. 100%. But listen, let's not sleep on JDM just yet. Let's not sleep on JDM. I don't like to sleep on JDM. I've given this man his props. I think this man is extremely talented, and we should not be counting this man out, especially after the performance he just put on. So, yeah, let's not cut that man out.
Usman needed to take that stance publicly because that's his weight class. Islam's the one that came to his weight class. Islam is the one that finagled the line to get a shot at what Usman wants. I mean, it was very important to me as a viewer to know that he's not sidestepping. I mean, that's the first step. When you start making concessions and you start letting guys step in front, you want to call it a friendship or anything else you want to say. If you avoid a fight, you avoided a fight. And I was very proud of him. I was very proud that he did not take that stance. And, before Usman gets that belt, or rather Islam gets that belt, there's going to be some work to do. It turns out Jack's a little better than we thought.
Well, Usman says that he's sitting out on the sidelines and he wants the winner of Islam versus Jack Della Maddalena, and that's it. And given Usman's status in the sport, I don't think that's a crazy shout. Now, typically we always say you shouldn't wait around. But when your name is Kamaru Usman, when you are the second greatest welterweight that the sport's ever seen, when you have just beat Joaquin Buckley, who's on a streak, and when you look at the 3 losses, yeah, all right, one was to Hamza, but he came back and it was really close. And then the other 2 were to Leon.
Kamaru Usman looked to be in fantastic shape, John. That was probably the best that I've seen him from a health perspective in a very long time. And it makes sense why he was saying the things that he was saying prior to that fight. He looked phenomenal. His control, his grounded pound looked to be at an other level still. And it's great to see a guy like Kamaru Usman back on top.
Usman, for me, I think he still shows some championship experience. Seeing an all-time great like that perform like that, vintage Kamaru Usman, I think it gives you the excitement that he could get back to the title and keep things interested, because obviously losing 3 in a row and then having such a close fight with a guy who's now fighting for the belt in Khamzat Chimaev on short notice, that says a lot. And now he comes and he beats a surging prospect. I think the writing is still on the wall that he has a chance to get back to a UFC title. Now, whether or not he wins it, that's a completely different thing.
But all in all, the fight was dangerous. It was tough. But Henry, it was almost like, I got to be honest with you, man. It was like, because you had that one fight with because I became such a well-rounded fighter and I started knocking guys out, and then I get caught by Leon. And then I have the fight with Hamza where, people saw me get taken down that first round and kind of held down. People forget that I could wrestle. People was like, bro, he don't wrestle no more. Like, he's just gonna, like, bro, it's like the reason the striking people got to see a lot more of that was because, hey, you respect the wrestling. So then, I have to stay at bay and try to fight with this man. And when you do that, that's when you see me strike and you see me stand and you see me do whatever I do. But it was almost like people, the blatant disregard for that was kind of crazy to me. It's like, yo, y'all forget, like, I wrestle. I do a little wrestling,
Even looking at how he just performed against Buckley, I think he realized too, I got to get back to who I was. You know what I mean? I think it's a case of, he really fell in love with his striking, and justifiable. I mean, he's been knocking guys out. He looked good, but I think if he fought him again the way that he just fought Buckley, I think he smashes Leon. But I do still think he's on borrowed time, right? And I think he'd even admit, like, look, I'm not going to be around in 5 years. I think he's trying. I think the reason he's saying and making statements like I'm sitting out for the winner, I think he's trying to really play his cards and say, I did what you needed me to do. You wanted me to fight this young up-and-coming contender that's been knocking everybody up, beating everyone's ass, and I just schooled him, and I want the belt. And I don't know what his relationship is with Hunter and Dana right now, but if it's really good and he says those things, and if the winner of Jack and Islam, if the winner of that is like, yeah, I want to fight the former champion Kamaru Usman, I'm telling you, that's why I think a lot of these welterweights are going to be like, dang, Damn, they'd have been better off. They'd all been better off if Buckley won that fight.
Let's be honest, I'm the biggest in the division. And this is about entertainment. The UFC is an entertainment company. You want to make the biggest fight, it's going to be the winner of JDM and Islam. If Islam pulls that one out, former pound for pound, current pound for pound, who doesn't pay for that? Islam is extremely talented. I love Islam. I think him coming in makes that division a lot more interesting. So if he's able to get in there and wrestle that belt away from JDM, former pound for pound, current pound for pound, I think everybody wants to watch that.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think that inserting Kamaru Usman back into title conversations at 170 pounds is great for the welterweight division. It's great for the UFC. It's great for me standing up here talking about it all the time at the desk. I enjoy having those conversations. And he's a former champion. He's been around a long time. He broke a lot of records. One of those guys come around and then they get a win, a big win in a main event, and then they call for the title shot. If they're anywhere close, I say give it to him.
Kamaru did incredible. It was a great performance. He looked like he's almost his old self again. The jab was on point. When I watched, I go, damn, I just forgot what a great jab that guy had. And he also proved to everybody what a great wrestler he is too, and how he can use his intelligence to win fights easier than to make it more exciting. He proved that point by the way he went out and he attacked his opponent. Very impressive.
If you end up fighting Usman and your takedown defense and your scramble ability to create space and get up is not on point, there is still clearly, there is still enough gas in the tank in Usman to cause real problems. I think that's what we learned. I thought he was running closer to E. Not yet. Not yet. Looks like to me he's still got a good quarter tank left. You can do something with that.
None of the rumors were true. I had rumors on the best of authorities. I completely believe. I could have been sworn in court, and I would have testified that Kamaru Usman's knees are shot. That his training is not the same because his knees are shot. His condition is not the same because he can't run. He can't run because his knees are shot. I believed all of these things. Where did that rumor come from? You just can't have the timing that he had. You just can't push the pace to the level that he pushed it without an extremely disciplined training approach.
But how interesting is it that he's like, hey, I'll fight Islam. Hey, Bilal Muhammad and Islam were friends. They both were managed by Ali. They didn't want to fight. Ali does a pretty good job of keeping his athletes away from each other. But Usman openly goes, I want to fight Islam if he wins.
I'm the biggest name in the division. Islam coming in, that's great, and that puts a lot of excitement into the division. But Islam's going to fight JDM I believe, towards the end of the year. Absolutely the winner of that. If not, what else?
Do you know who was more curious to see that? Ali Abdelaziz. He's laughing all the way to the bank. He's like, let's go. Double manager. Islam versus Kamaru. I would love to see that. And it's really interesting, isn't it? Because apparently Islam didn't want to fight Bilal because they trained together and whatnot. I'm sure Islam and Kamaru have trained, but it's like, listen, bro, in this game, it ain't a team sport. Yes, we are members of teams and we have training partners and we have people that we like. But you know what? When you retire from this sport and you walk away, right? You're not going to see these people nowhere near as much, and they're not really going to give a fuck about you. Yes, they will be friends, and they will be brothers, and you will keep in contact, and you will shoot a little reaction to their Instagram story. You'll throw a little laughing emoji up, or maybe some clap hands here and there. But you're going to go off, right? You're going to live your life. You're going to take care of your children, and you're going to move away from fighting. And if you didn't do that, you would look back and think, shit, why didn't I fight that guy? Who gives a shit? If you have the same manager or whatnot, you want to be great. You want to make the most money, maximize the opportunity. So yeah, Islam versus Kamaru or Jack Della Maddalena or whoever, let's go.